This is 730 Tea with Ree.
So I'm like, oh my God, I'm literally stranded in a flooding canal.
He's like, oh, I hope you don't mind. I invited my friends.
When he pulls up to pick me up, he's in a weird looking van.
Ree is spilling all the tea. Hello, everybody, and welcome to 730 Tea with Ree. If you are new here, I'm so happy that you're here. Whew. Today was a day. I got a lot done. I did a lot of content filming and stuff like that. So if you've seen my Instagram lately, you will see a whole bunch of stuff that I posted and a whole bunch of little fall stuff that I put in my room. I got a lot of this stuff off Amazon. I know a lot of people have been kind of swiping up, asking me where I got certain things. So Amazon is the place to go. Also, you can get them on Shein even, surprisingly. I didn't think Shein had decor like that, but it does. It does. And for cheap. Like some things are like $5 to $7. So you can get a lot of stuff off Shein. They have like these cute fairy lights and all of that. So if you're looking for some shit this fall, you can go to Amazon or Shein. But anyways, I'm just going to quickly go over what this podcast is about. So, this podcast is all about spilling tea and sharing your deepest, darkest secrets. So, if you have any tea to spill, DM me on Instagram at 730 Tea with Ree, and you spell that 730 TEAWITHRIE, or you can DM me on my main Instagram account at Rihanna Flores. You spell that RIEANNAFLORES. And if you wish to be anonymous, please let me know. Stories should be up to 500 words or less, and if you want to send an audio voice message instead of typing out your story, please keep it up to 5 minutes max. Alright, so now let's get into today's episode. I'm actually really excited for today's episode because today we have our first guest joining, and her name is Peggy, and she is going to tell us a really wild, crazy cheating story. So, Peggy, you want to give us a little tea here?
Thank you for having me this evening, Rihanna. I'm very excited to spill some tea with you this evening on this very special edition of 730 Tea with Ree. And yeah, I definitely have some yarn to spin for you guys today about what I've been doing the last year of my life. It's definitely been a roller coaster. So I figured we just dive in. I have a few bullet points here on my phone. And before we get started, I just want the audience to know that everything discussed this evening is purely for entertainment purposes. And any resemblance to anyone you may know in real life is just purely coincidence. This tea is so hot that we're going to have to block a few Instagram accounts, several Instagram accounts from Rihanna's page so it does not get recommended to them. That's how boiling hot this story is this evening for you. So I'm definitely happy to be here to share my story. Anything you want to chime in, Rihanna?
I'm just ready to hear it all because I've heard a little bit before, but this is a very in-depth version, so I'm all too excited. So spill away, girl. Spill it away.
Definitely. I'm going to need a flow chart this evening because there is a lot of layers to the lore that went into this occurrence. So I guess just the background, me and this guy, I guess, what should we name him? Brad?
We'll name him Brad.
Yes. So, Peggy and Brad, So, Brad and I began dating in 2016 when I was the age of 17. He was 23. Who let that happen? Anyway.
Show you.
Things were looking peachy keen, up until around late February of this year, where I found in a box of his, he had, you have a box, a drawer of old broken Apple products and everything. Right. And he had this Apple Watch always in there that was never charged, screen broken, until one day, he leaves for work around usually 4 a.m. every morning. So one day I woke up in the morning and it was charging in almost a hidden spot. So I'm like, oh, that's a little weird. So I picked up and looked at it, maybe maybe he's trying to sell it. Let me take a look at this watch. And I see like all these crazy text messages in it because did you know when you delete something off your phone, it doesn't delete on the watch? Mm-hmm. There's definitely some stuff in there. Like it was like just for example, off the top of my head, like one of them was like $200, same spot as last time. Sure. And then like another thread was like all these text messages with his ex-girlfriend. I only knew that because none of these numbers had like contact names to them, like, but it was like pictures of her like on vacation somewhere sent to him, and like I remember in the same text message thread it was a joke like, oh, we need to move this back to Gmail, like maybe it's because you're in Russia, like your photos aren't sending very good quality, like. So it was nothing like too like nothing I could prove from, but definitely like bad, like that wasn't good. So, of course, I go full detective mode. I'm waiting on the couch for him with the watch when he gets home from work. And he's like, oh, like, it's not what it looks like. I never acted on any of that. Like, oh, yeah, like, I was catching up with my ex. You know, she just messaged me one day during the lockdown, and we caught up. Like, I just had a conversation with her, nothing.
Oh, just without telling you, though? Mm-hmm. What the
And there was a lot of like different like numbers and like with like really weird suspicious things in it. So I'm like, So over the next like week or so, like obviously I'm gaslit into oblivion 6 years into this relationship. So it took me like a week or two, you know, investigating until it almost came to me in a dream. Like I woke up at like 2 a.m. one day and I was like, wait, I never checked his bank statements. So I go to the bathroom with his phone, like as he's sleeping, and I pull up the bank, because also, wait, I should add in everything, like, you know, I had the passwords to his phone and laptop.
Right.
So, like, these messages were almost from, like, a different iCloud account.
So he gave you those, like, voluntarily, or did you have to ask for those?
It was voluntary, and, like, everything was always squeaky clean, because he knew how to hide it. So that's what we're going to get into, because he was able to do it, because he hid everything really, really, really good. But I still found it, because I'm psychotic.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
But, you know, in a good way.
Yeah.
It's okay to be a little psychotic.
Yeah, so in these bank statements, there was, dating back to around, like, the start of the pandemic, he would regularly send this name I recognized from his Instagram search history occasionally. So that's how a red flag popped up. I'm like, oh, I've seen this woman before.
When did he start searching it? Do you remember?
Honestly, like, it's just one of those names that popped up from the beginning. Like, it was one of his old coworkers, yeah.
From, like, the beginning of the relationship?
Yeah. Well,
in
like
2016?
Yeah, that's why, like,
what?
But you know how we all have people we kind of stalk, like, they show up in the search bar.
So you figured it was, like, innocent.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's, you know, it was just a name that was, like, not, I recognized, but it wasn't on my radar.
Right.
And this woman is 42 years old and like 300 pounds. So I never really suspected it was like, you know, for that reason until I saw the bank statements. Like every month or so, it was $200 sent over to her. And then alongside that, like a charge to a hotel room. Like they went to different hotels around like Queens and Long Island.
What?
Mm-hmm. And then a few
other... Wait, didn't you guys live in Hawaii, though?
Yeah, okay, wait, this is where, again, we lived in New York during, like, the pandemic lockdowns into, like, early 2021, so that's where, like, the big chunk of these charges were from. We're getting into that, though. Don't worry, little one.
Shit.
Don't worry, little one. We're getting into that.
God.
No, so, this is mainly, like, a lot of these charges for 2020 to 2021 with the hotel rooms attached to it, and... There would also be occasional charges to, like, restaurants, like, sex shop, like, you know, like, sprinkled in there. And I, like, went through the bank statements, and then I'd go through, like, the photos on my phone and on his laptop to see, like, what were we doing that day? And almost every time he went to the hotel room with her, it corresponded when I would get a very large gift. So, like, I got a pink iMac with the Hello Kitty Razer keyboard and mouse. And that was just a couple days after he went to the TW Hotel with Miss 42-year-old and paid her $200.
No!
So, And then also, like, I got a Louis Vuitton bag, like, a week after he cheated on me. I'm trying to think what else. But still, like, he gave me, like, this Hello Kitty wine set, like, a few days after. Like, every time I get flowers, it corresponded with, like, a cheating event. And also, the tip of the iceberg, there was also thousands upon thousands of dollars in OnlyFans charges. I didn't know he used OnlyFans. But he was paying, like, there were at least over the course of 3 years, probably like $6,000-$7,000 spent on OnlyFans. So obviously I'm seeing Reddit the fact he was meeting, like, this woman at a hotel room. The OnlyFans kind of just slipped over my head. Like, yeah, he spent like $7,000 on OnlyFans. And then
That's a lot of fucking money.
on top of all that, he had also purchased flowers and sent some money over to his ex-girlfriend who lived in Russia. So this is where I went sleuthing some more, and I found the fake Gmail account he had set up to, since, international, I guess the iMessage or whatnot, or maybe he probably just didn't want it showing up on his phone based off those text messages, but yeah, so, like, he had this Gmail account set up to make it look like it was one of his work emails, so it had, like, a different username that was, like, a generic, like, work-related name. Mm-hmm. And he only used this account to communicate with his ex-girlfriend, and he had looked up flights to go visit her in Russia,
What the fuck?
as well, like, was talking to her for like 2 years from this account.
From the beginning of the relationship, or, like, was there, like, a certain point that like, from receipts?
I could really only find from the beginning of the pandemic, which was when he said, like, oh, like, reconnected, like, during lockdown. But, like, honestly, I saw all I had to see. Like, I'm sure there's probably tons of stuff I don't know. But, like, honestly, like, I've seen what I had to see. Like, at this point, like, I saw what I needed to see.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
Oh, let me see on my notes in my phone. I want to make sure I'm covering everything that happened before the breakup, because then there's some juicy stuff that happened after the breakup. So yeah, let's see. All right, and in the mix of all this, if it wasn't bad enough, that's what I mean, I need a flow chart. So one of our coworkers, this man is like 29 at this point. This coworker of ours is like 18, maybe barely 19, who used to work with us. And apparently she became a stripper after her time here, where she worked with us. Like, no hate to her. Mm-hmm. But based off these text messages between them, like how you mentioned we lived in Hawaii together. So when we were in Hawaii, he had been messaging her and had her name in his phone under a fake name that wouldn't be weird. He was texting. And he was trying to solicit, I guess first he was trying to butter her up and then tried to solicit a threesome from her. I guess he assumed just because she was a stripper that she somehow was for purchase. So he wanted to solicit a threesome with her and the 42-year-old woman.
What?
Once he returned to New York.
And she was 19.
Yeah. And she said, no, you're disgusting, and then never responded to him.
How old was he at that point?
I'm trying to think. I believe he was 29 at that point.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Fuck.
So, and then you wonder, too, why did none of these women, like, hey, girly, no one... Because he went into my Instagram account and blocked everyone from my own account, and I never thought to look at my own block list.
Oh my God.
So if any of these women attempted to reach out to me at any point, they were blocked from my account, so they had no way to.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Took your phone and fucking...
Yeah, they were blocked from my own account.
I wonder when he even found the time to do it.
I don't know. Like, he needs some hobbies
so that
or
means
something.
He just took your phone at some point randomly and fucking did that, or probably even did it throughout the relationship every time he found someone new.
Basically, yeah. That's why I saw all I had to see. Like, I kind of stopped caring. Like, when there's just a laughable amount of evidence.
Yeah,
like, it's kind of like,
It's like, well, fuck it at this point. Yeah.
Exactly.
It's a lot of shit.
Like, I feel like if it's like, oh, he kissed one person, then you start making, like, excuses for them and stuff. But
you have all this other shit.
Exactly.
As, like, a track where it's like, well, yeah, he is a cheater.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh my God.
And yeah, he lied to this coworker of ours that he was living alone in Maui and like would send
What?
pictures of himself in Maui, which was also kind of funny. And you could tell like she just thought she was like messaging someone like looking to catch up with her or something.
Oh my God.
Which so like I feel bad for this poor girl, but like I feel like she would have hate girled me definitely, but I was blocked
Yeah.
from my own Instagram account.
Yeah. Oh my God.
All right, so his Russian ex-girlfriend, they had talked for like 2 years, like from I guess I'm assuming the lockdown. She had reached out to him, and then just from what I was able to piece together, I wasn't able to get the full story because a lot of these messages were deleted. How like they had communicated through Gmail as well as iMessage, so a lot of the Gmail part was deleted. But from what I could piece together, he had been promising her a job where we both had worked in order to secure her a visa and then most likely replace me with her and marry her. But once she said no and didn't want him, then he just kind of gave up on that idea, which is when he so all of a sudden out of the blue started planning a proposal for me. Like, I forgot to mention too with the gifts. Oh, you know, when he picked up the engagement rings he had bought for me, it was the same day, like while he was in the city cheating on me, was when he picked up the rings.
Oh my God.
Based off bank statements, yeah, same day.
While he was, do you think it was like, what if they bought that shit together? Could you imagine?
That would have been funny. That would have been, come on, that was
Did
funny.
she know? Did she know that?
Oh, yeah, the 42-year-old
knew?
woman, she knew. Of
She
course
knew
she
that
did.
she was
yeah.
the other woman.
Yeah, she knew. She was getting paid
What
to do
the
it.
fuck?
Yeah.
So she probably did go with him and pick the ring.
Honestly, that would be really funny. Imagine if you got her a little something too.
I'm like, are you okay? Are you okay right now? Because we're laughing and stuff, but like, are you okay?
Oh yeah, I went to a lot of therapy after this.
Well, yeah, but oh my God.
Yeah, that's why you just gotta laugh after
Holy
a certain
shit.
point, like, you know.
Oh my Lord.
Alright, so I think I covered everything just about. I know there was a lot of lore to dump on you there from what occurred over those few weeks in February into March of this year. And, you know, I had to go on vacation with my grandma to Disney World. I had to cleanse. You know, I went to therapy for a few months. You know, I moved back to New York. But you thought this was the end. We got some of the... I haven't blocked everywhere. Mm-hmm. So... there has been a few occurrences since I have come back here to New York. He's blocked everywhere but my bank account in case he wants to send me some money. And so he has told a few of our friends that I left him because I wanted something different, not even mentioning the fact that he cheated on me for, 3 years. Mm-hmm. So that was definitely interesting of him. And he has all of us blocked from his Instagram account, but I was able to see that he wears the engagement ring around his neck on a gold chain in the Instagram profile picture. Incredibly weird. And then he also, a couple months ago, mailed me my PlayStation 2 that I had left behind. I didn't want to unblock him to ask him for it. So he mailed it to me unsolicited with a Visa gift card duct taped directly to it. And then when I look up the gift card to see what's on it, it had $250. And then he went to the gas station and filled up his gas tank. Then it had like $210 on it and change.
What?
So he used it at the gas station and mailed it over to me, duct taped to my PlayStation 2.
So he bought you a gift card, used it, and then gave it to you?
Yes.
What the fuck?
Or I'm sure someone probably gifted it him. Let's be real. Like, he didn't buy this.
Probably didn't
He
buy
regifted
it.
me the gift card.
It was probably the 42-year-old
Yeah.
woman helped
Yeah.
him give it.
And he lives with his mom now again. This 30-year-old man. I destroyed his life. I drained out the joint savings account, when I left him. So obviously that's mine now. So
Honestly, rightfully so. After all of that
Exactly.
time. Oh my fucking God.
it's joined for a reason. That's my money now. So you
Yeah,
know what? I took the
exactly.
money and I moseyed on up over here and life is good. Any questions?
A lot. So, like, when you guys talked about everything, like, in depth, because you guys had therapy and stuff like that, too.
Just one session, yeah.
Just one session. Did you ask him why he did it?
Oh, yeah, and I could never get a straight answer out of him. Even in therapy, like, he refused to admit to anything that I did not have concrete evidence of, which, quite frankly, was a lot. So I don't really care what I don't know at this point. And he really just said he cheated because the main answer I got is because he wanted to do something for himself and he was scared during the COVID lockdown. So honestly, really terrible excuses. He really needed to get some hobbies. I forgot to mention too, anytime he went out to cheat on me, he would say he was just hanging out with his friends or like, with his cousins. So like I never even thought to like question it. Like, oh yeah, go hang out with your cousins. I don't care.
Did you have his like location or anything?
No, I mean...
You just trusted him?
Yeah, I didn't really care. Yeah, it turns out he hasn't spoken to his cousins in years, like...
What?
Like, this guy's a loser. Like, this whole time, I thought he had friends and, like, hobbies and was, like, going out doing stuff. No, he was just with women each and every time. Like, you tell me you have no friends? Like, that's embarrassing.
Which, by the way, guys, might I add, I know what this guy looks like. I'm very shocked. She's laughing, but I am very shocked because no. I don't understand how he got this many women. I don't.
He paid for them, obviously.
I mean, yes, but still. It shocks me to my core because you're stunning and this man really just does suck as a person for all this shit.
I know, you gotta throw the whole person away sometimes, like... Yeah.
A lot.
I was the greatest good that ever happened to him. That's why he's still wearing the ring around his neck in the Instagram picture. Like, he's not getting any better. Like, he's gonna die fat, he's gonna die bald, and he's gonna die alone, because he sucks.
And you know what? That's on him. That's on himself, bro.
Exactly. Like, he didn't have to die alone. I mean, he chose that life.
Fuck that man. Did you ever suspect him cheating, like, before you found out? Like, did you feel any kind of inkling, even from the beginning?
No, honestly. Like, I feel like, I guess when you're with someone since you're 17 years old and living with them for, like, that many years, like, you kind of just stop being suspicious. Like, there was a lot of times he didn't go home, but, like, he always worked late nights and then, like, early mornings, and, like, we moved around a lot, so... Did
he actually work late, do you think?
That's what I'm thinking. Probably not. But, like, I thought he did. Like, we worked together for a bit. So it's like, I felt like, I was like, also my mom worked with us too. So it's like, why would he lie? My mom's there. Like, I don't know. I was naive. Like, I say a lot. Sorry.
Yeah. No, that's good. That's good. That's what everything's for.
But still, I was naive, I had never really had a long-term boyfriend like that before. And just, I was just kind of going with the flow. I always did my own thing too, so I wasn't really keeping tabs on him, like, but maybe I should have.
Right, like, you didn't think too much into it. It was kind of just, I mean, that was your first love, when you really think about it. Did you feel like he was the one? Like, did you really feel like you guys were going to end up together, or were you still curious about...
Towards the end, I realized that I really was just with him because I was comfortable and it was all I ever really knew.
Yeah.
And he wasn't the one at all for me. We were very uncompatible for each other, and definitely he was holding me back. Like, now that I'm back here in New York, like, I'm looking sexier than ever. I'm funnier than ever. Have my own apartment. Like, I have a great job now, like, making the most money I ever had in finance, and, like, I was definitely being held back by him a lot in my life, so, yeah, definitely not the one.
Do you feel like, if that didn't happen, do you think you'd still be with him right now, or do you think you guys would have eventually broken up?
We probably would have gotten married and then divorced in a few years.
That makes sense.
Yeah, so
especially
I statistically...
you said the compatibility, because eventually, like, living together is so much more different than actually being married. Like, and a lot of men don't get that still to this day. Like, I feel like women get the concept a little better personally, but I feel like a lot of the times men don't always get that concept where they think there's no difference, but there's a lot of a difference, because when you're married, there's full commitment to everything that you do with that person. And, like, almost kind of like a unspoken agreement on certain things. So I feel like, yeah, I mean, if there's no compatibility there, or kind of like, like a way to kind of speak to each other or certain kind of communication skills and stuff like that that's built, then it's just 10 times more difficult to maintain that.
Yeah, it was definitely like I was just living alone, especially in Maui most of the time. Like, it was very isolating there.
Yeah.
But, you know, I was always out doing my own thing, you know.
That's good at least.
So I guess over time I just was not very dependent on him at all. So I kind of grew apart in that way. But obviously I guess what became first, the chicken or the egg? Like, you know, him
Right.
cheating on me and becoming more emotionally distant and, you know. So, who knows? And but that's a weird thing, too. We never really argued during the time. We just grew more and more distant, like almost two roommates living in the same
That's what I was
house,
gonna
like silently cohabitating.
So it wasn't really for you. It was kind of, it seems like you guys really did kind of grow apart a lot anyways,
Yeah.
so it probably would have just fizzled out at some point.
Yeah, that's why it's kind of hard to break things off when you don't see anything alarmingly wrong with it.
Yeah.
And also, too, not to be vain, but he was a lot cuter when we got together. He definitely got fatter and started balding by the end.
Yeah.
So, like, looking back at pictures of him, it's like, ooh, like, he was not cute.
Right.
Not cute at all.
And I do want to add in there, because I don't want to get canceled. There's nothing wrong with someone being, like, overweight or anything like that.
Oh,
but,
definitely.
like,
I love big boys. Like, he was a big boy when I got with him.
yeah.
Like,
Exactly. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. But I know that a lot of people tend to have preferences. Kind of like, you know, I mentioned in my second episode when I talked about that one story about the guy who lied about his height. You know, everyone has preferences of, like, maybe they like a certain person who has certain political beliefs or religious beliefs or this, that, or certain height or a certain weight or whatever it is. A lot of people have preferences. But, you know, we're just kind of candidly talking, so I just want to include that in there.
Yeah,
But there's
definitely.
nothing wrong with it. But I did want to say thank you so much for telling us that story and going so much in depth, because that is a hard thing to, like, talk about and relive all over again.
it's a funny story.
But
I
it's
tell
funny
everyone it
still.
now. Yeah.
Yeah, I can tell you cope with it in more of, like, a fun way. Like, if you guys heard me laughing a lot through it, I was not trying to laugh at her pain.
No,
It's
please.
just the way she told it was really funny.
Please laugh at my expense, you guys. I mean, it's only funny because honestly, I don't think I did anything wrong. Like, you know.
You did nothing wrong. This man
Exactly.
cheated on you.
Well, I was out, like, you know, bonding with nature, walking my dog, you know, thrifting, just, like, doing my own thing every day. Like, I had actual hobbies and friends. I just assumed he did this whole time, too.
Right.
But no, he was just a weirdo.
You kept your life going, and he didn't, and that bit him in the end. It bit his ass. So, you know, he's the one that's looking like a loser, wearing your engagement ring like a weirdo.
Like, I basically had the means to just land directly on my feet again. Unlike him, like, he scrambled, like, his life, I pretty much ruined his life, not gonna lie, because, like, I had
In a good way.
yeah, like, I had everything I needed, and it's like, bro, like, you didn't have friends this whole time, you didn't have a backup plan, like, you didn't, like, where's your support system, like...
It's a good way to see it that way, because, I mean, really, he just wasted so much time on women and chasing women and kind of finding himself never fully satisfied in a way.
Exactly.
And that's his own personal problem that he's gonna probably still struggle with for a while, because he's already 29 and is still...
He's 30 now.
30 now.
Almost 31, dare I say.
And
like,
he doesn't know his lessons. So that just tells you how he's gonna be for the next few years until he actually learns it. So
yeah, absolutely
that's his own
nothing
problem.
ever made him happy. And you know what? He can enjoy his miserable life.
Exactly. But speaking of lives, tell us about your current love life now. Spill a little tea.
Well, after, you know, I had my summer, you know, I went on some dates, had some situationships. But very recently, I don't want to, like, you know, call it too soon, but as of about 2 weeks ago, I have a new boyfriend.
Oh.
He's very cute, and he's probably listening to this podcast. He's a year younger than me, and I don't know. I think things are getting pretty serious. I'm liking what the future holds for me. I might have to return to spill some more positive tea. But that everyone listening out there, what one man won't do, there is a man waiting out there ready to do it.
Fucking amen to that. That is so
Exactly.
true.
Like, never ever leave a man that's, well, I worded that very poorly. Never ever be afraid to leave a man that's like
Yes.
cheating on you, not giving you what you need,
Yes.
because there is your dream man is just waiting right around the corner.
That is super, super, super true. A lot of women need to know that. And also a lot of men, you know, if you have a woman that's doing you dirty, same thing goes for you guys. There's
Exactly.
always another girl who will treat you better. And, you know, you got great people out there in the world.
Exactly,
A lot of great
like-
people that'll treat you well as a person. So now that we have talked about everything, we're going to clear up all of the negative energy we just let out, or just all of the different types of energies that we just let out, because that was a roller coaster of a story. So we're going to close out with our sound healing session as we usually do. So sit back, lie down, relax, shut your eyes, take a deep breath in from your nose and out from your mouth. And I'm going to play. All right, guys, thank you so much for listening today. And Peggy, thank you for joining us on this episode and sharing the amazing tea that you shared. Do you want to say anything?
Oh yeah, thank you for having me, Rihanna. I'd like to make a special shout out to my new boo, Miguel. He's probably listening to this. You're the best.
You hear that, Miguel? You got a lucky chance with this woman right now.
Exactly.
Exactly.
He doesn't know how good he's got
He doesn't
it.
know how good he has it. But thank you guys so much for joining with us today, and I will see you all next week. Goodbye.
Bye.